Coming up next, the lead singer of this band tells the story of a wondrous period where his band was at the top of the charts with a platinum album, a #1 single, and 2 other big hits that put him in the running. Find out what happened to him next on Professor of Rock. Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you used to write down the top 40 countdown in your Trapper Keeper as you listen to Casey Kasem counting them down, you're going to love this channel. Make sure that you subscribe below right now. Click that bell to get the story straight from the artist about the greatest songs. You can also become an honorary producer by clicking on our Patreon link. That's in the description. We have some awesome content going up there just for patrons. And also check out our new merch as well, including our brand new series, the Vintage Years Collection. So it's time for another edition of our series, Bottle Lightning. This is where we break down the history of a beloved one-hit extravaganza that still resonates in our culture. Following up on our Mr. episode a few weeks ago where we talk about it from the album side, we're going to do the same today, only with a different group. This European band had a song that left the world transfixed. It went to the top of the charts in both the US, here, and Canada, and it was top 5 pretty much everywhere else in the world, including #4 in the UK and Australia. Take a look. Then after dominating MTV and the charts with their classic 80s hit, they followed up with their second straight top 10 hit, I've Been in Love Before. That went to #9 in the US and #2 on the AC charts. Then the fast-paced, heartfelt anthem, One for the Mockingbird, that went to #38, and it was used in the 80s movie Can't Buy Me Love, classic for all 80s kids. This gave him 3 consecutive top 40 hits from this same album. That album was broadcast. It went to #16 on the album charts. It also went almost platinum, I think, and they were nominated for a Grammy later in the year for Best New Artist. It was in '87. The band at that time consisted of singer-songwriter and rhythm guitarist Nick Van Eede, along with underrated guitarist the late Kevin McMichael. There was bassist and instrumentalist Colin Farley, and drummer percussionist Martin Beadle. The album broadcast was proof that their best days were ahead of them. So what went wrong? Up next, we sit down with lead singer and songwriter Nick Van Eede, and we find out the story of this album and these 3 hits, and then we're going to try to answer the question. Now, as we go into this interview with Nick, I do want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear, the brand of glasses that I wear every single day. Now, right now, you can get over 1,100 pairs of glasses for less than $7. That's about 1/4 of the price of a brand new vinyl record. If you're in the market for a new pair of glasses or have a loved one or a significant other with a birthday coming up, Zenni Eyewear is a wonderful choice. Just go to zenni.com right today to take advantage of this great deal. Here's Nick Van Eede with the story. I just died in your arms tonight. Have you heard some of the great covers that people have done of I Just Died in Your Arms? Bastille did one.
Yeah, Bastille's good, yeah.
Oh, I just died in your arms tonight.
Bastille was very good for us because they're a young British band, so the hip factor was great.
Oh, yeah.
Put that one on Facebook, it went Patush.
Jason Donovan,
I just died in your arms tonight.
My favorite cover is the Northern Kings. Just astonishing.
I just died in your arms tonight.
And also how it's been used in pop culture, TV, movies, Never Been Kissed.
I just died in your arms
Really?
Hot Rod.
It must have been something you said.
Hot Tub
Hot
Time
Tub Time
Machine.
Machine.
Adam, hey.
But also Rock Band and Grand Theft Auto,
That was what I was
video
going to
games.
say. Grand Theft. Can I tell you the Grand
Oh,
Theft
yeah,
story?
of course.
Oh, gosh. So this is way back. And I have an email on my wall in my studio that says, "Hey, Nick, Sony ACV Publishing here from London. And we've had a request from some game thing called Grand Theft Auto. I want to use Died in Your Arms." And I was like, yeah, great. I think you can make a lot of money from this sort of stuff. I was thinking, So I remember writing back. So I have the thread on my wall and it goes, Okay, cool, but just I don't want to get involved in anything too violent, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff around. And they wrote back, nothing violent here. And then my thread is, okay, go for it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I know. Wow.
That's cool.
That's a great story.
I mean, I guess I could have written back and gone, but I didn't know until 3. Honestly, but we were a pop band, we were on the road. So 2 years later, people are phoning out going like, love hearing your song with a guy getting his head blown off.
What I love about your songs, the syncopation of the words, there's no forced word. I love how there's space in your songs and the syncopation, it's like nothing's forced. It just falls right into line.
And that goes back to that thing about, sitting at the keyboard or the guitar and just letting it flow out. You just reflect back and these words come out. I'm not religious at all. I'm a very spiritual person. And I totally believe in the muse. I think there is a thing where you get touched every now and again. It may happen once a month, it may happen once a year, it may happen 6 times a day, I don't know. But you've got to tune into it. And I firmly believe that when you get lucky that way, or you open all your things to let it bring in, it comes in. But then it's your responsibility to go, I recognize that, that's pretty good. Because most times we're too busy. I remember writing down words sometimes, and I think, oh my God, where do those words go? That was the muse again, and it's gone forever. But with Died in Your Arms and Been in Love Before, and maybe 5 or 6 other songs I've written in my life, that came from nowhere. And you have a responsibility then to go, I'm going to get this down. And I don't know how many other people have told you that in interviews, but I'm 58 now, and I'm an older man, and looking back, I totally see that. You get this, and if you're a fool if you don't take those.
One for the Mockingbird.
Okay.
One of my favorite songs of all time. I love your energy in that song because the screaming,
You told me this. He did say this. I think this really is one of his favorite songs. You told me this on the way up. Thank you. That's a very big accolade. It's a cool song. And we should have been a proper hit. It's not anthemic, obviously, but when you get it, it is. It's got ska bass on it. He's playing the ups. Every time we do a lot of these things where you don't play with your same band, and the guy goes dum dum dum, and the band I have learned dum 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 dum, and I go, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm playing the notes. I said, no, you're not. It's it's up. And that's what makes it, so that's different. So this is me before a hit record at 26 years old. I've been doing it since I was 7. So I've been doing it for 9 years. All the stuff that all your other interviews got, those 9 years of nothing. Those 9 years of girls and chemistry and late nights. But in the end, waking up in the morning going, I'm broke. And I wrote this song because I started feeling, before Kevin arrived in England, I started feeling I was getting a bit of direction. And so You Won't See the Bastards Knock the Running Out of Me it's absolutely aimed at those people that rejected me, or the press. Yeah. I've been in bands before, and press actually, I don't give a shit about this. I really don't. I've had some cracking bad reviews, and I've had some cracking good reviews. But in the end, Kevin used to get so upset by them. God, I used to have to cuddle Kevin, Mr. Cool, I said, Kevin, it's okay, But that was my, the Mockingbirds, those guys that want to mock you. In everything we do, you want to become the next new American high jump champion, Hey, hey you with your long legs, you're going to get it. And then 6 years later, and you haven't become the high, but you might next year. And You Won't See the Bastards Knock the Running Out of Me. And I think that resounded with a lot of people, whether it be people, I don't talk about high jump champions, but just anybody in life. Kind of, you get fired from your job, and you go, So yeah, that song has had more responses from Died in Your Arms, obviously, but Mockingbird on the kind of,
Yeah.
Get it.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
it.
Oh,
That
yeah.
finger pointing, and I think you were kind of doing that. So
No,
thank
it
you.
is.
I never got a penny off my old man, but I got everything. Just, he was there. I remember watching, being in a music shop one day. He was a DJ. He was a Saturday night DJ. You know, as we say, bar mitzvahs, funerals, and weddings. You know, super uncool. But my dad, and so he used to go and buy, you know, the latest. This is talking 70s, 80s. The latest flashing light thing, sound to light. Is that what they called it? And I was listening. So he's buying this, and I'm in the corner watching this guy playing in a Trainer amplifier, Trainer, with reverb on. And I'm just sitting there like this. And he said, "You want that, don't you?" I said, "I've never asked for anything, ever." And he said, "Okay, I'll get it. And you wash my car whenever I ask you to." And he did. He did for years. He did for years. But I got that amp. And what I'm saying is that your dad butted heads with you, but you connected on one thing. My dad was always there for me. But the Mockingbird syndrome is, I saw it around me all the time. I saw it around other people at school where... My drummer in my first band, his dad couldn't wait for him to sell his kit. You know, just give him 2 years to have a go, but no. So he did. He sold his kit and never played drums again. Another guy was my best friend. I actually met up with him again now. Back then, it was like we would write dreadful songs together, but he was my best mate. He just stopped because of parental thing. So parental or peer pressure or whatever, you got to have all those things lined up.
And that's what rock and roll's for, man. Rock and roll is for you to say, to hell with the man.
Totally.
And that's
those
what
guys
One For the Mockingbird was.
It was, and those guys didn't, and they disappointed me, frankly.
It picked me up, and I still listen to it to this day.
I think it's a dark horse anthem.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Bruce writes great anthems. Johnny
Yeah.
Cougar, Mellencamp, whatever it was, you know, we've all done them. And I'm an Englishman telling you about the British guys. I can show you some English ones. But this is a bit of a dark horse anthem. And when you actually go, you start getting into that ska beat, and by the time he gets to the chorus, One For the Mockingbird, you know? It's like saying, yeah, that's the One For the Mockingbird.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been in love before. Another just beautiful song, another top 10 hit with to number 9. Also went to number 2 on the AC charts, another crossover hit. But that is so Beatles-esque. What was the inspiration of that song?
When you write songs, and again, you know, without being any kind of Uncle Nick figure to anybody younger writing songs, sometimes it's good to just buy a new bit of kit, even if it costs you $100, $20, I don't care.
Right.
Because if you get a new bit of kit, it sounds different and you get excited by it. And that's what I did. I bought a Poly 800 Korg, who the older people in the audience will go, well, that was a pretty shitty bit of gear. But it's what I could afford then. And it just sounded good. So I started pumping away on the chords. I was still living at home then, for heaven's sake. Mum was like going, come up, it's lunch now, Nick. And I was like, no, I got something going on. And she said, well, it'll go cold. You know, we've all had that.
Yeah.
And the chords are very beautiful. They're just very simple. Well, I can sing it, I don't know. Catch my breath, close my eyes. Don't believe a word. It's simple, it's immediate, it's pretty.
Well, and it sticks with you. I love the part, the hardest part is when you're in it. It's just so simple.
That was absolutely a heartbreak song. Yeah, that was absolutely. It was, but I wasn't in heartbreak then, but, you know, maybe a great writer, you know, great novelist and all that. Great, how dare I? But you just reflect back and these words come out.
Well, and I love the video. Again, the music video, beautiful video.
The American one, and with the
Yes.
girls and the cellos and the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gorgeous video.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it was great that they were able to match the
Yeah, it
beauty
worked,
of the
didn't it?
song with the video.
Been in love before.
So after Nick and the band rocked the charts, they released their sophomore album, The Scattering. That was in late spring of 1989. Nick Van Eede was high on it, saying that the title track of The Scattering was actually his favorite song he'd ever penned. He said, and I quote, "I think it's one of my best lyrics, telling of how the small villages and rural communities can die out when the lifeblood youth move away to the big cities. We had a lot of fun recording it as we flew down from the Scotland with the Whistle Binkies, who are a fabulous and famous folk band. We had only 5 hours to record all their parts, which included a lot of instruments. Now, this is still a firm favorite when we play it live, even without the folk band." Nick Van Eede also talked about the frustrations that he had with the continual delay that the band experienced, Cutting Crew, while they were making this album. He actually referred to it in the album's lead single, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, where he's saying, "I got a brick, but I can't find a window."
I got a brick, but I can't find a window.
Nick would convey the frustrations that he felt as the American A&R department that was supposed to be championing the band and the album. They continually blocked the album's release for months, and he felt that depleted the band's momentum, which he's very right. That album would take over 2.5 years to come out after the band hit #1 with Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. And that was just too much time between releases. Now, The Scattering ended up peaking at number 150 on the album charts. Its singles also failed to connect, with the exception of the great single Everything But My Pride. That did go to number 4 on the adult contemporary charts. But the best any of the songs did on the coveted Hot 100 were when Between a Rock and a Hard Place stalled at number 77. From there, bassist Colin Farley and drummer Martin Beadle exited. Nick Van Eede and fellow guitarist and bandmate Kevin McMichael continued on. They released one final Cutting Crew record in October of '92. It didn't chart at all. The band finally split up in '93 the next year. I think there was just too much time between album releases, if you want my opinion on it. When your first few singles hit, you have to keep feeding that monster. And by the time the second album came out, we were about to enter the 90s. Also, as good as several of the songs are from The Scattering, there wasn't a once-in-a-lifetime song like I Just Died in Your Arms, but lesser bands have been able to pull a rabbit out of their hat with less. There were definitely a few songs that could have been top 10 hits with solid promotion. After all, Nick Van Eede looked like a matinee idol, and the dynamic between he and guitarist Kevin McMichael was a winning duo. Pretty much the label, they dropped the ball on this one, on the band, on the album, and it probably stopped the Cutting Crew into being more than what they were. Now, Kevin McMichael ended up playing with Robert Plant later. When I say he was underrated, I wasn't kidding. When he first played something for Robert Plant, who had requested that he play something, after Kevin wowed him with some Buffalo Springfield and Moby Grape, I guess Robert Plant's jaw hit the ground. He said that he picked me up off the sofa and said, "Never leave me." Kevin was nominated for a Grammy for his work with Plant.
If a miller were my trade.
Sadly, Kevin McMichael passed away from lung cancer in 2002. And Nick Van Eede continues to tour, with the popularity of Cutting Crew continuing into the next generations due to the heart-stopping 80s power ballad I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, which has been used in pop culture time and time again. It's just a song that keeps on giving.
I just died in your arms tonight.
Leave us a comment about Cutting Crew and this fabulous 3-hit Bottle Lightning album. What are your memories of these songs and that wondrous time in music, 86, 87? Why do you think Cutting Crew never had another massive hit, or why they didn't go on after that? Let us know below. Also, make sure to subscribe below right now. Click the bell so you get the story straight from the artist. And make sure to check out our Patreon. Help us keep the music alive. Until next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.